Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello guys, my name is Farida Gustiani Hadi Putri. Today, I will be the moderator of this discussion. Hope you guys can enjoy the lessons and listen very well. Enjoy!
Hello, my name is Umin Sapitri Liani. I will explain the first material about the effective classroom interaction course. The EGI course was designed to improve teacher-child interaction through intentional teaching, which is conceptualized as knowing, sharing, doing, and reflecting. Hammer et al. 2012. Videotape, letters, and reading convey knowledge of children development and effective interaction. Video exemplars of classroom interaction allow teachers to see what effective interaction look like. Teachers also had opportunities to practice learned skills, do, and reflect on their practice by reviewing self-captured video footage and completing reflective homework assessment. Consistent with the inhibition model, which suggests that opportunities to productively and constructively express oneself and one's emotion are favorable to inhibiting emotional expression. Pennebaker Rachman teachers were intentionally provide various expressive outlets throughout the course. All the teachers had access to homework and discussion boards with supported reflection provide a sense of community and allowed learners to reshape feedback, discussion, and ready. In addition, teachers were randomly assigned to receive additional support, either reflective, writing, assessment, or coaching from instructors. Reflective writing is based on research, suggesting that personally discussing and reflecting on emotions and relationships through expansive writing may improve physiological health, Pennebaker, Smith, and facility intrinsic motivation. Sheldon and Libomirsky, despite a rich literature on the act of reflection in teaching, few studies have considered how teachers as of reflective writing affect well-being. Literature in counseling and clinical physiology has often compared individuals who have an opportunity to briefly write about emotional or traumatic experience with individuals who write about emotionally neutral topics. Pennebaker and Smith. The meta-analysis revealed that reflective writing is associated with positive long-term outcomes, including physiological well-being, physiological functioning, and health behaviors. Smith. Emotional discourse through reflective writing has been shown to be beneficial when participants wrote to no particular audience. Solitary report disclosure, however, benefits were even greater when participants wrote for an intended audience. Social self-disclosure. Given the demonstrated benefits of reflecting writing in other fields, reflective writing assessments were included in the AC course. Coaching is defined as professional development where coaches and first observe teachers' instruction and provide feedback to help them improve. Individualist, time-intensive substantiation over the course of a semester of year connect specific and focus on discrete skills. Coaching is supported by research which suggests that having an express to personality confer which can support change. The second, the importance of teachers' well-being in professional development. Teacher well-being is a broad concept which encompasses a person a multimediational evolution of his or her life, including effective evolution of emotion, abilities, and moods. According to the pro-social classroom model, teacher well-being plays an important role in developing close relationship with students, creating healthier classroom and environments, and ultimately improving social and academic outcomes for students. Teachers' well-being is especially important in PD that deliver socially and emotionally silent content because such PD relies heavily on the teacher's own social emotional skill. Jennings and Greenberg. Furthermore, the consideration of teacher well-being is especially relevant in online PD, which may potentially isolate learners. Past research has shown PD might have either a formative or hindering effect and aspect of teacher well-being, which may be determined in part by the types of support that are provided. Given the broad multidimensional nature of well-being, studies often consider specific fits factors of well-being. The present study focuses on self-efficacy, burnout, and stress. Self-efficacy refers to the belief in oneself to be successful and overcome challenge, and in the content of the classroom to successfully teach and promote student learning. Various studies have linked early childhood teachers' self-efficacy with teaching practice and child outcomes. For instance, more self-efficacious teachers reported closer, less conflictual relationship with their students. Has been shown to relate positively to quality on interaction as well as student achievement. Self-efficacy may decline in PhD, often referred to as the implementation dip, due to inferior overestimation of skill that is released by the teacher during PhD. Noran and MC Master investigate how elementary school teacher self-efficacy change in VD that included various types of support, one of which was coaching. Interestingly, a large portion of the teachers who participated in VD without follow-up coaching experienced decrease in their self-efficacy. In contrast, VD that included follow-up coaching had the strongest positive effect and self-efficacy, suggesting that the coaching support protected teacher from decline in self-efficacy. Stress and burnout. Stress refers to mental or emotional strain that result from adverse circumstances. In early childhood classroom, there are various circumstances that may cause teacher to feel stressed, such as disruptive student, challenging working conditions, and workplace dispatch. The inability to effectively cope with chronic stressors might lead to burnout, a physiological condition which encompasses emotion, exhaustion, depersonalization, and lack of personal accomplishment. According to Maslach, emotional exhaustion involves feelings of emotional frustration, fatigue, and strain. Depersonalization refers to negative perception to others, and in the case of a teacher, in repression, a lack of region, or an overall impersonality towards student. They see personal accomplishment represents a person's self-evaluation in relation to this or her job performance. Stress and burnout have been linked to various negative consequences such a higher level of teacher turnover, lower demonstrated quality, and more conflictual relationship with students. Similar to self-efficacy, mental health consultation have been shown to potentially alleviate job-related stress. PD might reduce teacher stress by providing new knowledge that can facilitate us of effective classroom practice. So much material. From me, I return to the moderator. Thank you.
I will explain about prison study. Given the increased offering of PD to early childhood teacher and the expansion of online learning, it is important to understand the ways in which online PD after preschool teacher will being. In particular, we need a better understanding of how online PD should be designed. What types of support should be included and why? The present study focused on preschool teacher in the context of the HE online PD invitation to answer the following research question. To what extent did teacher self-efficacy, burnout, and stress change a result of the HE professional development intervention? 2. How do teacher expression within PD support inform why change in teacher self-efficacy, burnout, and stress may have occurred? Is divided into two. The first is participant. Preschool teacher we recruit to participate in HE through local contents in three geography diverse states across the United States. Teacher received professional development training course for participating in the course and compensation for participating in the study. The majority of teachers were female. 56.4% identify as white, 22.2% Hispanic, 10.6% blacks, and 5.4% Asian, American Indian, multiracial, or other. In terms of educational attainment, 36.3% of teachers had less than a bachelor degree. 43.6% had a bachelor degree and 12.8% had a master's degree on average. Teachers had 8.55 years of preschool teaching experience. The second is procedure. Once teachers were consented, they were blocked by location and randomized to condition. For one of the three sites, teachers were randomized into treatment or control condition. For the remaining sites, teachers were all assigned to receive treatment. Subsequently, all treatment teachers were randomized to receive the course only coaching or reflexive writing. Explained in greater detail below. 25 teachers made up the control group. Treatment teachers were also randomly assigned to one of three instructors who serve as participant main points of contact. Instructors were experts in the field of early childhood education and well versed in the content. Less ethnically diverse than all treatment group. Teachers in the control group were also more likely to hold master degrees compared to the coaching and reflective writing condition. Lastly, the coaching condition contained fewer teacher real bachelor degrees compared to the course-only condition. As a result, race and educational attainment were controlled for in analysis. In terms of accreditation, 6 treatment teachers completed the pre-course survey but did not complete any of the course. An additional 8 treatment teachers dropped at various points throughout the semester. The majority of teachers, 61%, report leaving the course for time-related or personal reason. The tests were conducted to determine whether teachers who dropped the course varied from teachers who persisted, and no significant difference were found. Do the missing data strategy described in more detail in analysis section. This attrition did not impact the sample used in quantitative analysis. HE course overview. The effective classroom interaction or HE online course entitled Supporting Young Children's Social, Emotional, and Regulatory Development was designed to be complete in one academic semester. The content we based largely on the teaching through interaction framework domains of emotional support and classroom organization, which relate to engaging in positive communication, being sensitive to children's needs, having regard for students, managing behavior, and organizing the classroom. All treatment groups had access to the same coursework, which include 14 sessions. Each session designed to take teacher approximately 2 to 3 hours to complete, was composed of 5 to 8 video-based listen and interactive activity, short quizzes, and end-of-session tests. A midterm and final exam was administered during session 8 and 14, respectively. In addition, homework, assignment, and community discussion board were available to all participants. Six lessons include homework assignment where teachers were asked to videotape their teaching practice, identify effective and least effective moments related to the particular dimension of the teaching through interaction framework, reflect on how their teaching is affecting students, how their practice has changed, and describe what they plan to do differently, both for within each instructor group. Teacher has access to a voluntary communication discussion board for the duration of the course. Discussion questions were posed weekly and usually coincide with the content of the lesson.
Coaching condition. In addition to the course material, teachers in the coaching condition had up to 5 one-to-one telephone conference with the instructor. Conference occurred bi-weekly and last approximately 30 minutes. Conferences were designed as opportunities for teachers to discuss concerns, ask questions, and receive feedback from their instructor. There were 5 main goals of coaching. First, relationship building between the instructor and teacher. Second, building motivation to change and engagement in online materials. Third, developing teachers' understanding of child development, effective teacher-child interaction, and target strategy. 4, building self-assessment and self-awareness skill. And 5, translating knowledge to practice by assisting with planning and goal setting. Next, reflective writing condition. In addition to the course material, reflective writing teachers receive supplemental writing from encouraging personal reflection on their teaching practice related to a specific child. The goal of the reflective writing assignment was to provide teachers an expressive outlet for reflecting on classroom challenges. Specifically, teachers in this condition were asked to identify a child with whom they had trouble interacting with effectively. Then, teachers were asked 3 questions at the end of each homework assignment. The questions were: first, in what way do you think that the strength and challenge you considered in this session impact your relationship with this child? How does your current relationship make you feel? 2. Write a paragraph describing this ideal relationship and the interaction that you would like to have with this child. How you think this ideal relationship will make you feel. And 3. Describe the ways that specifically working on this relationship through the course might improve the effective interaction that you have with the rest of students. Teacher composed and submitted their reflection online and did not receive feedback. Fidelity of implementation. Several procedures were used to ensure fidelity of implementation. First, course content was largely delivered through videos, and thus all participants received the same exposure and structure to the content. Second, grading of assignment and the provision of feedback involved standardized rubric, and response were reviewed across instructors to ensure consistency. Third, regular meetings occurred across coaches to review coaching session and provide feedback to ensure fidelity of coaching. Quantitative measure. Teachers complete a battery of questionnaires before and after the course. Along with demographic information, teachers report their feeling of self-efficacy, burnout, and stress, described in greater detail below. Self-efficacy was measured using the short from Teacher Sense of Self-Efficacy Scale, Sanan Moran 2001. The scale has 12 items in which teachers have assessed their capability to bring about desired outcome for students in the area of student engagement, instructional strategy, and classroom management. A sample question is, how much can you control disruptive behavior in the classroom? Teacher respond using a 9-point scale where 1 represent never and 9 represent a great deal. Item respond were average, with higher score indicating great self-efficacy. The measure has demonstrated validity and reliability in past research. Stress was captured using the depression, anxiety, and stress scale 21, thus 21 Lovibon and Lovibon 1995, which has previously demonstrated validity and reliability in clinical and non-clinical population. Anthony Bielingcox in and Swinson 1998. The DAS-20 is a 20-item self-report measure of depression, anxiety, and stress. From this measure, we use the 7-item stress subscale. Respondents rate the extent to which the statement applied to them over the past week using a 4-point scale, where 1 represent did not apply at all and 4 represent apply to me most of the time. A sample item includes, I found it hard to wind down. Item response were average with higher score indicating greater stress. Burnout. Burnout was assessed using the Marshall's Burnout Inventory, MBI, Marshall-Jackson, and later 1996, which has demonstrated validity and reliability in several studies. Gold 1984. Iwanichi and Schwartz 1991. The scale has 22 items with 3 subscales. Emotional exhaustion, i.e., I feel emotionally drained for my homework, 8 items. The personalization, i.e., I feel I treat some students as if they were impersonal objects, 5 items. And personal accomplishment, i.e., I feel I'm positively influencing other people lives through my work, 8 items. Teacher reported the frequency with which they related to a given statement using a 7-point scale, where 1 represent never and 7 represent every day. The emotional exhaustion and personal accomplishment subscale rendered mid-high internal consistency. However, the personalization subscale show low internal consistency, which may be due to the limited number of items as well as lack of variability. Because of this ambiguity, the personalization subscale was excluded from further quantitative analysis. Similar to previous work, i.e., Briner 2011, Skalvik and Skalvik 2010. Emotional exhaustion and personal accomplishment were explored separately. Item response were average with higher score indicating greater emotional exhaustion and personal accomplishment respectively.
Analytic plan. 1. Quantitative analysis. To determine the extent to which teacher self-efficacy, burnout, and strength change a result of ACA, multiple regression were conducted for each respective outcome. Specifically, the outcome was regressed on the treatment group, course only, coaching, reflective writing, and control, demographic control like race and education, and the corresponding measure at time 1, which allowed for an estimate of change. The control group was omitted from the model to serve as the reference group. Analyses were also run for only teacher in the treatment condition. To test for significant differences among instructor group, no significant results were found, and thus results are reported for modeling utilizing all participants. Multiple imputation was used, which is favored on a smooth and primary strategies for handling missing data. especially in social science research, and there's 20 data sets very important analysis and pooled results are reported. 2. Quantitative analysis. Quantitative analysis followed production outlined by Miles, Huberman, and Saldana. Coaching transcript, perspective, rate assignment, homework assignment, and discussion board. Posts were utilized for various points through the course, especially Session 4, an early point in the course when the first homework assignment was administration. Session 6, the midpoint, and Session 12, the end of the course were assessment. A process of open coding occurred in which the primary researchers create a preliminary list of codes by reading through assignment and identifying recording and relevant codes. Codes were by reading through assignment and identifying relevant codes. Codes were organized into 7 relevant time: desire for change, view of self, view of children, personal emotion, engagement, role of interested or peer. Role of interested or peer was only coded in discussion board and coaching, which both allowed for this course. Result 1. Quantitative finding. Bivariate correlation among the well-being measures are located in Table 2. These measures were modestly correlated, but appeared to be distinct construct. Results from the regression analysis are found in Table 3. Aside from pre-scores coincidentally relating to post-score for all measures, several significant findings emerged. Self-efficacy. Teacher in the course-only group became significantly less self-efficacious compared to teacher in the control group. The effect size suggests high practical significance. No significant difference were observed among the coaching group and reflective writing group, suggesting self-efficacy did not significantly change relative to the control group. Qualitative finding. Proposition 1. Without adequate support, ACA may have led teachers to feel more emotionally exhausted and less self-efficacious because teachers fixated on weakness and challenges. Proposition 2. Coaching provided opportunity for teachers to discuss challenge with instructor and receive immediate feedback or encouragement, potentially protecting teacher from emotional exhaustion and lowered self-efficacy. Proposition 3. Coaching and reflective writing text incited teacher to express emotion, especially positive emotion, which may have protected them from declines in self-efficacy and increase in emotional exhaustion. Proposition 4. Course-only and reflective writing teacher use discussion board differently, which may explain why course-only teacher became more emotionally exhausted and less self-efficacious and relative writing teacher did not. The benefit of self-efficacy and the determinant of emotional exhaustion are well documented. Self-efficacy is true the necessary for teaching success as more self-efficient teachers report closer, less conflictual relationship with their student and have higher quality instruction. Conversely, emotionally exhausted teachers have more conflictual relationship with students, demonstrate lower teaching quality, and leave the professional at higher rates. Jennings and Greenberg. In our study, course-only teacher who took ACA without access to coaching and reflective writing became more emotionally exhausted and less self-efficacious compared to teachers who did not take ACA, demonstrating they were not adequately supported. Conversely, teaching is the coaching and reflective writing conditions seem to benefit from emotional outlet and feedback. The challenges of teaching M.Pd. The present study indicated that course-only teachers tend to share more challenges about children with a discussion board offering insight into why their well-being may have changed. Children's behavior problems are a common cause for concern for preschool teachers. Although the SIA course delivered teacher strategy for building positive relationship with children, which should immediately help teacher manage children's challenging behavior, course-only teacher may have felt overburdened. Because teachers naturally found fault in their teaching practice, whether prompted or not, only coursework should intentionally seek to evoke more strength-based thinking. Recognizing strengths allows learners to identify key areas to build on. Thus, it is likely more beneficial for teacher well-being to ask them to reflect on a teacher's strategy and how it is positively affecting the classroom than to simply focus on challenges. Additionally, teachers seem to benefit from the provision of emotional outlets and or more opportunity for feedback and discourse.
Emotional outlets in online context, both coaching and reflective writing support, were emotionally evocative, offering an explanation as to why they protected teachers from feeling emotionally exhausted and less self-efficacious. Past research showed that personally reflecting on emotion and relationship through expressive writing can improve psychological health, which supports the notion that constructive opportunity to express oneself and one's emotions are favorable to inhibiting emotional expression. Our findings suggest it is beneficial to provide teachers opportunities to express their emotion to online context. In our studies, generally teachers did not write about how they felt unless explicitly asked to encourage emotional expression. Future course could intentionally provide emotional outlets for teachers. As was true in ICI, this intervention can be brief, but the benefit may be considerable. Discourse and feedback in online context. Our findings support excellent literature showing that coaching support were beneficial to teachers' self-efficacy. However, contrary to the body of work on mental health consultation, our study did not find that coaching necessarily increased self-efficacy for a large portion of teachers. Instead, coaching seemed to be more protective of losses. Feedback communicates important messages to the learner about his or her abilities and competence, which has implications for the teacher self-efficacy. Teachers would the feedback to enhance their self-awareness and knowledge of personal strengths and weaknesses might be less inclined to become emotionally exhausted. In particular, we found that positively focused feedback, which encouraged teachers to consider what is going well, was especially important. Ultimately, this result underscored the importance of providing teachers the opportunities for feedback and encouragement within online learning environments. To the extent possible, PD implementers should provide teachers regular opportunities to meaningfully cover with peers and instructors. Peer coaching is a possible avenue for future work and has shown promising results with pre-service teachers. Discussion boards could also be redesigned to ensure greater success. For instance, to provide better feedback, instructor and teaching assistant could respond to all discussion board, was more proven to empathic to the teacher concern and provide thorough feedback. Limitation and future direction. This study presents several limitations. First, this study had a relatively small sample, which might have limited our power to detect effects. Similarly, it is unclear how the implementation did might have limited our ability to detect effect. For instance, it is possible that the time to data collection occurred at a time when teachers' self-efficacy was still rebounding. Future work should continue to study how teacher well-being changes in online PD using different sample or teacher, as well as different topic and method of delivery. To the extent possible, self-efficacy should be measured more frequently to better understand the implementation depth. Future researchers to directly ask teachers how they felt. The present study focused on how teacher well-being changed by treatment group rather than by individual. We acknowledge that we heterogeneity in well-being change score within controlling for treatment group to better understand how PD affect teacher well-being. Similarly, given the established benefits of coaching, future work should explore how coaching dosage relates to teacher well-being. Finally, it is important to acknowledge that the proposition presented represent personal interpretation of the data and should be verified in further studies. Conclusion. Teaching is extremely demanding. Teaching while also learning new skill, reflecting and modifying practice called PD is additionally strenuous. Given the relevance and demonstrate association with student outcomes, it is necessary to determine how and why teacher well-being changes in PD in order to best support teachers. Evidence from the study suggests that preschool teachers taking an online course experience emotional exhaustion and decreased self-efficacy when you provide on opportunities to express emotion and or receive support feedback. PD designers should be thoughtful about the types of support teacher receive and how assignments are framed in online environments to ensure teachers learn while also feeling empowered and successful.
It's a wrap. That is from our group. Specially thanks for Riska Dewi Rahmawati, Annisa Naelul Barokah, Nina Nurannisa, Umin Sapitri Liani, and me, Farida Gustiani, Hadi Putri. Thanks for listening our lessons. Hope you guys enjoy it. See you later. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.